speaking of your Aces and my Liberty here.
Oh man, I'm a Fever fan. Move on.
See, there we go.
Look at the footwork. Look at the footwork. Come on.
Greer knows a pivot when she sees one.
Hey, a lot of Ginobili's out here.
Liberty beat the Aces on the ring ceremony day in the Barclays Center. I don't know how the hell the WNBA allowed Natasha Cloud to go to New York. That is just heinous work. Greer, any thoughts on either team here? Because again, 1 game sample for the Aces. I think we can see the vision in there because it still stayed close through most of this game. But also there is just something about 6'6" Jonquel Jones, 6'4" Brianna Stewart, 6'4" Leonie Fibich, who you can switch 2 through 5 defensively, who can hit a 3 ball, an upgraded Niara Sabali, and now a fast, twitchy guard that can take you off the dribble offensively and recover and play defensively, especially when a Benijah Laney Hamilton is out with an injury. Immediate takes, like, are the Aces in trouble? Are the Liberty a juggernaut? Where are you at with it?
Liberty they are a juggernaut. They're just so versatile and they can beat you in so many different ways. So much so that if Sabrina can shoot 2 of 11 or something like that, I forgot what it was exactly, and it didn't even matter. Please. Exhibit A presenting the box score, but yeah, so much so that it didn't matter all that much that she shot poorly. Cloud is going to alleviate so much pressure off of her, also so much pressure off of Maureen Johannes too, right? Who also we have a lot of the same like questions about when it comes to like we know they can play offense ish. But all the other things are still TBD. So, yeah, it is an embarrassment of riches. Right now, they are looking like a team that could very well be repeating, even though we haven't seen that in the W in quite some time. What, have we seen back-to-back champions?
Since the Aces? Please don't.
Okay.
Whoa, erasure.
No. Well, you know, hey, the Ezzy not contest. I've put a lot of shit out of my mind. Okay, I've been through it. I've put a lot of shit out of my mind. Damn, I'm having flashbacks right now. It's crazy.
The short-term memory, bro.
No, for real. I can remember things like it was yesterday, from 10 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, no, New York looked phenomenal. Also getting like quality minutes out of a player that they've invested in, like Kennedy Burke. Like Jonathan Kolb has like done a phenomenal job building this team and like maximizing players when they become available and stuff like that. It's truly like bang up job.
Shawnee, are you going to say something nice about the Liberty here?
No.
Oh.
Well, Sabrina actually shot 3 of 12, 0 of 5 from 3, and it didn't matter. But it's like it typically doesn't matter because as long as your stars are, you know, the better players are playing well, like she can just be the Romanian book bag. But like Stewie looks good. Like
10 for 14.
Yeah, her legs are fixed.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, that made a huge difference because she doesn't look like the Tin Man anymore. It was getting wicked for a while, so you know, good for them. That's all I got on them.
I was gonna say, do you take any stock in the early Ace returns? I mean, granted, you know, it's going to come out on a Tuesday, and there are plenty more games to see here. I think what is difficult with the Aces, at least that I notice in this game, and maybe this is the way the team is built, right? Like maybe the team is built and structured and schemed to make sure that, you know, the focal point is the best player in the league. However, I'm a little nervous here because it just looks like things kind of get stuck in mud. And this is how it looked a little bit last year. And it didn't look, I think what alarmed me is feeling like it needed to look markedly different. And maybe that's my fault for the expectation that I put on this team going into this year with Jewel Lloyd. But it really just kind of looked like Jewel Lloyd took the Kelsey Plum role. Like it didn't really look like there was anything all that substantially different. Is there anything that you picked up?
So I was,
if I'm being honest, on offense, she does less. She doesn't handle the rock. She doesn't play make for others. Whether or not Kelsey Plum is like good or super consistent at it, like at least there's some variety in her game and how she approaches it. Jewel is letting that thing fly, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, not really, because she was 2 of 10, 1 of 6.
Letting it fly. I didn't say making it.
Oh, well, that's fair. That's very fair. I was preoccupied, so I was box score watching, and what stuck out to me the most was like first quarter. I saw like Kia Stokes had like 0 points and like 4 rebounds, and I remember I came in the chat and was like, I'm gonna come back at the end of the game, and I'm willing to bet a substantial amount of money that this stat line is not going to move much further. 0.7 rebounds. 0.7 rebounds, bro. Our starting in 18 minutes, our starting guard has 0 points and 7 rebounds. That's not okay. That's not acceptable. Because there's a difference. I mean, starting center for whatever we want to, whatever positionless position we've stuck her in. Our starter has 0 points and 7 rebounds. And it's like for Asia to have 31 and 16, there's a difference between running through her and running her into the ground. And I feel like that's what this is, because you're not, Jewel Lloyd, 5 points. Kirsten Bell, 2 points. Granted, she only played 5 minutes, but that's 5 minutes too many.
Bring up that Jackie stat line. Go ahead.
She threw up a brick too, dog. There was a Kirsten Bell midi that she pulled up that shit just hit the backboard, and I was like,
honestly, it was probably for the best that you were box score watching and not watching in real life,
bro. I was like, Deja Kelly did not get cut for this. I was like, this is heinous.
Oh my gosh, like Dana played well. Kitley again. Kitley had 2 points in 1 minute of action. 2 points in 1 minute. Kia Stokes had 0 points in 18 minutes. Like, this is what I'm talking about. We cannot have this. And so the bench, like, I'm looking at the bench production. Tiffany Mitchell, 0 of 4 in 17 minutes. Like, you can say it's game 1. It's against the Liberty, blah, 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 blah. Because typically on ring nights, that's when teams have to work the hardest, whoever's ring night it is. And I know this because we've had 2 of them, and I watched it, and emotions are high, and, people, want to knock you off and ruin your ring night, and so you got to come with it. So it's like, if New York was able to get off like that with ease, and we got to have a 31 and 16 point game go to waste, it's not. I'm ready to ring the alarm. I was ready to ring the alarm in preseason when I'm seeing like
we want defense, wolves, not dogs, and
we're trying to create stuff, and I'm like, it shouldn't take all this. We got like 5 Olympians on this team of various levels, and you got unrivaled rivals on here. Like, what? People should come in hungry, and they're professionals. These are people late into their careers. Why do you have to treat it like Coach Carter? You know what I'm saying? Like, Becky had us on the line.
All Becky wanted was 2.0. That was
well, and
you can't lock my son out the
gym. Said, well, no, I'm not going to say what.
I
had a layup for that one, but I'll wait till the end of the show.
We already got one apology.
I was going to say we're in enough trouble as it is.
Open the notes app.
I think it is. I think it is something worth monitoring, right? Because it's one game, and I don't want to be too prone to hyperbole, but it is, one game of monitoring the Becky Hammon rotations. And the Becky Hammon minute distribution among rookies and younger players, and the Becky Hammon moves in the offseason as the de facto general manager. Like, it is pretty remarkable given the fact that she came in after Bill Laimbeer and breathed immediate life into this team, and she deserves a measure of credit for that. However, I am wondering and again, this is what is worth monitoring. Was that just a perfect confluence of events, or like, are we like it just doesn't seem like she is carrying the same level of enjoyment, and that stuff can start with a coach, and so we're in the monitoring stage. We're game one. We're in the monitoring stage. As far as some of the other top teams, extremely impressed with the Washington Mystics. Impressed with the LA Sparks in that Lynn Roberts seems to have unlocked something in Azurá Stevens. Like, if she
my daughter,
friend of no cap space. We only have winners here. If like when it comes to her, a 6'6" long, like multi-level scorer who can rebound and run the floor, like she has dealt with injuries for dang near half of her career, and it has kept her from reaching the ceiling, which was projected to be something really special when she was at a younger age. In this offense, man, she could be something really good. And obviously we saw like the ebbs and flows of what the Kelsey Plummet as the star experiment's going to be. 37 points one night and then getting kind of locked up by the Lynx the next.
Welcome
the
to
Mystics,
the Kelsey Plum experience, folks.
Literally, like this is what it's going to be,
And she fouled out, I believe, as well.
Yep.
She playing defense now because like she active. Okay, I see you, girl. She said, if you ain't fouling, you ain't trying. All right.
That's right. I at least like the energy. The Minnesota Lynx, as I mentioned on our 5-out little short form video this morning, I'm just calling it relentless competency the rest of the way, because that's just all they just don't make mistakes. They're not flashy. They just do the things well, and they force you to run with them. So my question to you guys is, who among the teams in this first weekend stood out or impressed you in a way that you were not expecting?
You go ahead.
The Mystics, I guess. I feel like they're the most obvious choice in finishing the weekend 2-0, beating a Connecticut Sun team, and the Atlanta Dream, I believe, was their first W. Who are also, dealing with some new additions. But Shawnee went on her rant about Sabrina. There's another number one pick in this league who is skating.
I know who you're talking about.
And not what I don't know where they're headed with her. No, she's in the studio this morning doing nonsense.
Down in the studio.
No, I'm talking about Ryan Howard.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Who was the 2021 number one overall pick in the draft by the Atlanta Dream. Oddly enough, that was the pick that Washington traded out of, right? They originally wanted in the draft lottery, but they traded out of it, and then Atlanta took her at number one overall. But again, what I saw from them in just one game was just like kind of intentionless hoops.
Yeah.
Like they can score, they can shoot a ton of threes. Obviously, that's going to be a big part of what Semesco is doing down there, but there's still just it didn't feel purposeful.
Yes.
I didn't feel like they were trying to establish themselves on day one after kind of doing really well in free agency and getting Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones, right? Like those are splashy moves, and they didn't do much to establish like what their new identity is going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
But credit to Washington, right? We saw a rookie and Sonia Citron come out there and honestly best Ryan Howard, like won the game scoring on her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Alicia Gray, like it was both of them. They both took turns on her, and no one could do a whole lot.
Not a tag team.
So the Washington Mystics have surprised me a ton so far. Really balanced, obviously, too, right? Kiki Iriafen, also a friend of No Cap, had a double-double in the second game of her very young career against Tina Charles, who is an all-time great in this league. Actually, they were going band for band. If you was really watching,
it was actually a great game. That Sun Mystics game was low-key fun as hell.
Yeah, they were, and then we got to see it, 2 new head coaches in this league too, which was really cool. Got to see some good coaching in this league. So yeah, I'm gonna go Washington. They surprised me the most so far in this early season. I don't know how sustainable this is, or even if it's in their long-term plans, right? Like, we know how things work with different organizations and stuff like that, but like, yeah, for Sidney Johnson and company, like, you've got to be feeling awesome about, again, like, laying that foundation for what it is your team and culture is going to be.
Shawnee, any thoughts on Ryan Howard? Because I'm also in the monitoring stage. I think, to Greer's point, like, I think I'm in the monitoring stage of like, there was a lot of like potentially perennial all WNBA attached to her name when she came in, because the ceiling and the vision was very clear. But I kind of agree. There's like a lack of purposeful hoops in there that, again, one game, but monitoring.
So, and that's the thing, because like, it's one game, new system, because like everything was Tanisha Wright's fault every year. Like, I stand by that.
Honestly. That's fair.
So I think now it's getting back into playing winning hoops after, like, I'm not going to project that on her, but like, I would have checked out with Tanisha. Like, I don't know what you're doing. And so now I got to get back after it and get back into it. And I just think they've got this whole like power of friendship vibe going on out there. And it's like, it looks super stupid when you're not winning, or like when the friendship is shooting like 1 of 11 combined. So it's like, they do need to pick it up, because especially with these new girls pressing the issue, because like, Sonya's rookie of the year. You heard it here first, folks. Sonya is rookie of the year.
Well, a Kiki 17-14, a Paige 19-8-6 tonight.
Well, no. Okay, but like, no, Paige, first off, no. Immediately no. Kiki, she played well that first game, but it's like Sonya 2 games, Kiki 1 game, Paige, welcome to the party, I guess. Send the trophy to I saw a tweet. It was like, send the trophy to Washington and let them figure it out. And I agree.
That's pretty good.
But like, no, she's definitely got to like step it up and make some moves. Otherwise, she's SEC Sabrina. I don't know what else we can do with that other than like set the bar. Because like, I thought she had next. I still maintain she could have next if she like, gets it going and can lead this team. Because like, you can't have a team with a number 1 pick like that and then big names like this. Even though like, I don't think the big names are a fit per se. Because like, Brittany Griner saying she's shooting 3s and then doing it in preseason, like, cool. But like, do I think that's gonna happen 40 games? No. Immediately, just no. Yeah. So I think she's in an interesting position, because I think this is a weird fit, an oddly constructed roster, but like, she still got a hoop, because you can't have Sonya Citron showing you up game 1. Like, that's what starts dialogue, buddy.
6 of 7 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. It is, by true shooting percentage, the most efficient debut for a WNBA rookie in the history of the league for Sonya Citron. And there was, and look, I'll say this, there was a lot of flack that Sony got from scouts and draft nicks and fans about whether or not she'd be able to defend at this level, to shoot at this level, to get spacing at this level. I mean, 2 games in, I'm comfortable saying like answered, obviously teams are going to start game planning for her now, but if the expectation was like, this kid's going to be a bust, like, no, she is absolutely not one of those. Love what the Mystics are doing. I owe Sidney Johnson an apology, because when he got hired, I was like, the hell, like, cool, you're following the Wizards lead, like, goofy, stupid, like, nope. Guess who's goofy and stupid? Your boy. This is why I'm not running shit. But I really just kind of love the youth movement that they have. And it's not just the youth movement of those rookies too, right? Like you have Aaliyah Edwards in her sophomore year. You've got Shakira Austin in her third. Jade Melvin's 22 years old. Like there's a lot of young players and young talent. And honestly, man, it feels like their vets have done a good job establishing a good culture too. Like Brittany Sykes looks really damn good on this team. Like really good.
Honestly, she has since she got there. Since she got there, she's been like pretty good and been a fringe all-star in this league ever since.
Yeah.
It's just been like the consistency on the offensive end, because like sometimes when you like rely on her to like score a lot, it gets a little dicey. But like she had a couple 30-point outings to Greer's point, like last couple years, like she could sling that thing. So I agree, but like she's kind of really embracing that, like, okay, this is the direction the team is heading, and making sure like everybody's moving. So yeah.
So
synergy.
Good old Washington synergy. Are there any agendas that you guys have after week 1? Ones that either you feel good about, feel bad about, or agendas that you are ready to build and create going in to week 2 and into the rest of the league? I feel like we should put the Jaws. I was gonna say we should put the Jaws music on while Shawnee gets ready to. Dun, 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 dun,
I mean,
dun,
I'm going to be monitoring a number of things this season.
No.
One of the things is Seattle 3-point shooting. They shot it very well today, but in game 1, like they really struggled to score. I'm already forgetting who they played. Minnesota? No, it wasn't Minnesota.
Mercury.
Thank you. Okay. Really struggled to score against them. So we know that they can defend. We know that they can be physical, but can you get quality shots in your half-court offense? That's something I'm going to be monitoring for the Seattle Storm all season long. Tonight, they did a much better job, but still only scored 79 points. So, like, you want to see them averaging at least like in the mid-80s. I just think like that's the firepower you're going to have to come with every night to be a contender in this league. When you see Indiana can score at will, New York can score at will, Minnesota is going to be so methodical in how they score, right? You know that they're going to get good looks at the half court. So you've got to be able to find easy offense. So that's one thing. Another thing I'm going to be monitoring, and a big part of the reason why, and I get it, like people got to take their lumps coming into this league, but you just hate it for one of the players that you root for. The Dallas Wings backcourt situation.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So far in 2 games, it hasn't looked great. It hasn't looked great. I think tonight Arike goes 2 for 11, 2 for 12. What is it? Does anybody know off top?
I believe it was 2 for 12, but let me pull up
classic. Give me my classic duck.
Yeah, we're recording right after this, so we didn't get to watch the end of the game. But
2 of 14, 1 of 8 from 3.
Yeah. And then again, like, are you doing when you're not scoring, when your shot is not falling? How many free throws did she get?
3 of 4.
Okay, 4. So she went to the free throw line, let's say twice, right? Like 2 different trips. What is she providing when she's not scoring?
It's classic Arike. Ooh, we're so back. We're so back.
We're so back.
Yeah. So again, we know that at the end of the season, a lot of people are going to be free agents.
And we know the Chicago Sky really need a guard.
Yeah. So
you think Angel won't rebound now? Like, God dang, Arike to Chicago. We'll get the record book out.
Angel, I was gonna say Angel's gonna have like 20-30 games off that, dog.
Just stay on one end of the court, sister.
12 points, 26 rebounds.
We're going to see numbers that have never been seen.
This is like George Mikan rebounds for Angel if she's on a team with Arike, bro. Oh my god.
Boy.
So yeah, those are 2 things just off the top of my head that I am going to be watching in terms of agenda. Shawnee, on to you.
We know where this is going.
Not the first.
This is great for the
Paige make the
podcast
Dallas
audience.
Oh, sorry. I have my notebook out. It's a basketball notebook. It's got my agendas in it. So first, did Paige make the Dallas Wings worse? Arike coming in. Arike was an all-star, a fringe Olympian, a scoring champion. There was a lot of talk about when she and Caitlin got left off of that team. They were right there, and then they proved some things in the All-Star game. And now she's back to shooting 3 of 12. Chris T. Sides. How long are we giving him? Because I'm not convinced.
Banger of a name.
Thank you.
That's a
Worked
banger.
very hard on it.
Chris T. Sides is some truly diabolical shit for
I'd
you.
say put it in the
saying
already. I'm ready. Today it can be added right now as an addendum. I'm with it. I've seen enough.
Hearing his quotes from preseason and beginning of the season, like it's all just like summer camp vibes. Like, yeah, we just want to have fun and play loose and free. And it's like, okay, Matthew McConaughey, we got it, but like, what are you actually gonna do to keep this team together? Because Tierra McGowan is walking off the court during huddles, and it's like, yeah, she's been in a weird place for the last couple years. And it was very telling that Paige was like trying to motivate her, and they were doing it jovially, but like I saw the subtext of those quotes of her like trying to fine Tierra for what did she say? I get a fine every time I don't do something, so I'm not trying to give Paige any of my money. And I'm like, a rookie shouldn't have to come in and tell you these things, so you immediately are in trouble. But things have gotten worse since Paige has gotten there. They've reverted back to the old days, very post Skylar and post Donna Imus, and I attribute that to Paige. They knew she was coming. They've done everything to prepare. Got her all the help she needs, and she's squandering it. So I don't know. That's what I'm watching. Obviously, Rookie of the Year. The Mystics shocked me. I was not like, I knew it was going to come down to like who gets more minutes and who has a bigger role. So I knew like Paige is a starter. So I know she was going to be in front to win this award. But like Sonya, keep it up, sister. Keep it up, please. Just keep it up. The Fever Watch. Always Fever Watch. When Aaliyah Boston gets that triple-double, like I said, I'll be right back here with Emergency Pod because we got to talk about it. I don't even know what I'm going to say. And we're just going to be yapping. But, yeah, immediately that. Huh?
Stream of consciousness?
Mm-hmm.
Just Shawnee yapping? Never.
And if it is just me, just like literally just yelling for an hour. Just
like the old Stephen A videos where he's like, ah.
Oh no, we're Michael Irvin. Like, we got to take it to that level.
With those recipes.
That's very
It's Michael Irvin time when Aaliyah Boston gets that triple double. But Fever Watch, obviously, like I'm invested in that. I'm invested in all former players off their former teams and how they look. Kelsey Plum, y'all are getting the Kelsey Plum experience, but does she level out? Because she had a 30-point game to start like 2 years ago, and everybody was like, well, is she the MVP? Is Asia really that important? Because Kelsey's doing some stuff, and it's like, okay, wait on it. Because then once she starts skipping, I need y'all to keep that same energy. But I want to see if she can like maintain that. Aces, are we gonna do anything? Are we gonna do anything, or are we gonna watch Asia score 1,000,000 points and 200 rebounds and then be completely gassed by the time the playoffs come? That's a fear, but something I'm watching. Slack Mamba Watch.
I knew that
it's never going away. I had tweeted after that amazing opening day, the first day that I got to watch, we still got a Slack Mamba stinker on the horizon, a season opening stinker, and she delivered. An absolute disaster class once again. 8 points, 3 of 12 shooting, 0 of 5 from 3. Chef's kiss. So I'm really watching things people yelled at me about, either from this year or years past. I have not forgotten. Sorry, Greer, Page watch is happening. And then just former
you're watching art. You're watching the master at work play with a bunch of
Wings are 0-2. Wings are 0-2. Wings were a playoff team last year.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
A playoff team. Were they?
Wings, no. 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, because Satu was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Wings were just outside the playoffs last year. So, Wings are traditionally a playoff team. Wings have traditionally been a playoff
Hell no, I'm not letting you get that one off. Absolutely not. I think
Albany, Georgia. I drove up to Georgia Tech and watched Azare Stevens
once in her career so far.
Who?
Arike.
We'll fact check it later. But they're traditionally a playoff team. I watched that year because they beat out Asia for the last playoff spot. The Wings have been a traditional playoff team.
Good Lord. This is where the hating gets unethical. This is where we got to draw our ethical lines here.
They have been in the playoffs as a high seed.
Yes. Yes. I have set foot in Florida. like, come on, dog. I will say this. Yes, Chris Coquelin clearly is still trying to figure it out from a rotational standpoint. But I think the thing that scares me is like this team was supposed to be better defensively. And like that was supposed to be the hallmark.
Right.
And that's what I mean. And it
because I was gonna say says who? Sources?
Yeah, and there's places where they just look lost, man. I still think like, and Shawnee, I will let you have the comp when all is said and done. CC has the higher ceiling. Paige might have just like a really high established floor. And maybe doesn't have like the high ceiling that Caitlin has, at least not yet within the league. But even still, like a 19-8-6 in a loss is a stat line that last year we were saying Caitlin can't win with these cats. So like I'm not gonna put Paige on that level just yet. I am gonna say, however, like that's a stat line that is in line with what we were saying was a top 5 guard output last season with Caitlin. So just monitoring that. The Connecticut Sun are actually
like the thing is, again, I think this is what I've been consistent with the entire time since they ascended in our game.
Mm-hmm.
That they are the new standard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I honestly believe that there are maybe not to their level exactly, but there's more players like that coming.
Oh, for sure. Shawnee, do you want to stake your flag on the comp now? Because I want you to be the one that says this first, because you had it first in the group chat. And I think it's going to be a comp that ages extremely well in the W as time goes on.
Yeah, like I'm kind of coming around to Paige is going to eventually have the Sue Bird career arc where she's like the consummate point guard, the floor general, she can have those big games, but like don't count on it super consistently. Whereas Caitlin has the DT Diana Taurasi trajectory where she's gonna go get you some buckets. Neither are playing great defense, but like, it is what it is. I just think that's eventually where I'm gonna come around to. But this season, I feel like is already proving it because, again, look at how they're guarding the two of them in their rookie years comparatively, and then look at like what they're being asked to do.
Dayton so far, she also plays differently than CC. CC is like a downhill player, right? So it's like it's imperative that you deny her even in the backcourt. Like the styles are just different, but Paige is certainly being. There's
in preseason. I didn't see it. I watched it.
Okay, but you haven't seen the regular season yet. You were box score watching, admittedly.
Oh.
So,
well, I was also Hey,
Ah!
because that wasn't my fault.
There are
That wasn't
stills
my
and
fault.
I didn't say it was. There are stills and there is video footage of her being double teamed in the half.
I do need to see that because I've not seen it. I have not seen it. And even
So-
like in college, I ain't really. They was doubling in the Big East career.
I mean, look,
you gotta think on it.
Faith. I mean, I'm sure.
I
they,
remember 10 years ago. I can't remember 2 months ago. I told you.
I'm sure they were, but like a Lauren Jensen, Morgan Maley double team is like a little bit.
Great Blue Jays, not too much.
I mean, you know, like it's there's levels, but I'm a little worried.
Hey.
I'm monitoring the Enrique DeJournay combo as well because that tandem combined tonight for like 4 to 24 or some crazy number like that. Yeah, there's a lot going on in Dallas that I'm unsure of. I don't know what the hell's going on in Phoenix. I'm not even going to touch on the off-court stuff. Kalia Copper obviously is out, but Satu Sabali looks great, and Alyssa Thomas kind of looks like pretty rejuvenated in the Riblets offense, which is pretty neat.
Also, leave that coaching and shit in the NBA, MNBA.
Oh, dude. Yeah, what the heck? Jason Kidd type shit. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You know,
leave that
like,
over
that was
there.
crazy.
Don't bring that over here.
Yeah, I didn't fuck with that at all.
I mean, wanting to defend you easy. This is crazy.
Yeah. The Connecticut Sun are not going to win a lot of games, but they're going to be really fun when they do it. I love and that game with the Mystics, to me, it was such a clear, these are two teams with established cultures. Like their coaches have done the job because that was an effort game. Like it was wild to look at that and be like, this is the second game of the year and they're playing like they have a spot for the playoffs on the line. And, you know, who knows how long that stays and how long that can work when you're losing more than you are winning. But the fact that Rashid Mezion and Sydney Johnson are able to get that much out of those programs now with so little talent relative to the top end of the league, I think both of those coaching hires are really going to age well. And the Mezion hire, I've always been high on. My European contacts love him. Dominique Malonga limited minutes, and I get that she's just coming off Eurobasket, so we'll keep an eye. But she's raw. I get it. But like 5 minutes a piece in the first two games for your number 2 pick in the draft is a little like, I don't know.
We gotta start watching Noelle Quinn. I know like people haven't really been happy with her the last couple years. Like even outside of the Jewel drama, it's been like Seattle hasn't quite met the threshold that they would have liked. And when you have that semifinals and Becky's clipboard is clipboarding, like that's the difference where like you had mentioned something about like, was this just like natural progression? Like, no, Becky, there's a difference between Becky and Bill. Like, and it was stark.
Big difference. Big difference.
We could see it, that clipboard moving. And, you know, when you see stuff like that, and then you see stuff like what's going on that side, it's kind of like, is this our best option? But it's also like, what option is out there that's better? So,
true.
I don't know. This is going to be a telling year because you got to figure out something to do with Dominique. Like, you cannot have that level of talent just sitting here. Like, it'd be one thing if she was stashed overseas, but like she pulled up early and has been here and is in the States and getting 5 minutes. Like,
well, and look, we've made it.
You got to figure out something for Ezzy too.
Yeah, and we've made this argument.
6 for Ezzy, I believe. She's the 2019 draft.
Right? She's 26 now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been. Has she been an All-Star? Or like fringe?
One-time All-Star.
Yeah. At one time, yeah. I think she narrowly missed
last year.
There,
yeah. No, she got it last year. She's been it twice.
Or it was like narrowly missed the year before or something. Like, but like
we got her there.
Again, like a promising young prospect, right? Like plays all over this world and excels in other leagues. So how can we maximize her in the W?
Yeah. And we said it at the college. Agreed. And we saw it at the college level too. Like this, we have talked about this at the college level. The only way for players to get better is to play, you know? And so that's the thing with Dominique is like, I get it. She's young, tired legs, got a lot to learn about the American game, the speed, the physicality, But like, dog, you got to let her work some of that out, especially this is the time early in the year. You're playing the Wings. This is the time to do it. And
yeah, I wonder if it had anything to do with them like being on the road. She was a late addition to camp.
She was a late addition,
like,
and I think they're playing her into playing shape.
When they're back in Seattle. Yeah,
I think that's entirely possible.
Well, but we have
monitoring. We will be monitoring, and we have plenty to do. For those of you that are part of our paid subscription tier on Substack and give it a consideration, 1 week free trial. It's $10 a month or $100 a year to be a part of the Ball Knowers, because one of our new features for this season is a paid subscriber feature that we are calling Pack Watch, where you get to make your bold predictions about what's going on in the league. You get to put your sticky notes down like it's inside the NBA, and then Shawnee reserves the right to put you in a pack if they are wrong. And if there's one piece of feedback everyone has always given us is more Shawnee. Ask and you shall receive. Pack Watch is a monthly installment for the Ball Knowers, so consider it on nocapspacewbb.com and give us a rate or review, stars wherever you might have it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on Substack, as we mentioned. You can find us all over the socials at nocapspacewbb.com. Guys, any final thoughts before we wrap pod for the week?
Hey, the W said no space for hate. We're creating one. Sorry, it's got to happen. So get your takes in, get your agendas in. Let's talk about it. Let's rate them. Let's argue with them. Let's have fun with this.
Do it all ethically, folks. Greer, any final thoughts?
Keep watching the hoop. And as Cruz screams.
Ball up top.
Train them.
We'll see you all.
The way the shit go.
Exactly. We'll see y'all next week on the podcast. This is Ball Up Top, a women's basketball podcast brought to you by No Cap Space WBB. For Greer, for Shawnee, for Tyler in the gulag for the time being, and for Andrew. We'll see y'all next week.